Here comes the nasty gram.
Send a priest to save my soul, forget it.
Welcome back to the Nastygram RPG podcast. This is the Boston Masquerade, Chapter 16, Boiler Room.
Feeling it too hard is the poison to the heart of a cynic.
Hey, this is Jake, and I'm going to be the storyteller.
And this is Matt playing Javi Morales, the Ventru cleaner with a lot on his mind.
Hey everyone, Dan here playing Quintus Lazar, the Tremere, patient number 4.
Hey folks, it's John playing Z, the Bruja hacker. Kind of losing a little bit of humanity there, coming down from 8.
You're good. Yeah. Hey, it's Ryan. I'll be Ethan Crane, the Ventru impromptu chauffeur.
This is Josh playing Larry Murphy, Crouching Possum, Hidden Nosferatu.
Nice.
Snack Shack? Checking in with Snack Shack.
Hey, this is Devin in the Snack Shack. I ate a whole bag of Parmesan goldfish, the Rush Hour 2 of goldfish, where it is better than the original.
Do you have an update for us?
No. 2 problems. I lost Dan's answers.
He's disqualified.
For the love of...
He's not even an American
Matt, put
citizen.
them over there. Are they not on the ground?
There's a second problem. Some of you used percentage values, and some of you used
So you haven't
individual numbers.
What were the instructions?
prepared.
I said, how many goldfish? I'm so
How many
hungry.
goldfish?
I'm so hungry, guys. How many starbursts of each color are in the bag? I was given percentages. I guess it wasn't clear. I'm not going to hold it against you. But results have been delayed. The pollsters are working diligently.
Need a recount.
And there's some angry people outside the door that we're trying to take care of.
Something wrong with machines.
Yeah, they're trying to actually stop us from counting the starburst.
Well,
How are the Chads?
interrupt the game that's not that important when you have something big for us.
When you have an update.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
And if I find Dan's answers, then the
The right answers.
I'd
You're going
say
to find
they're
the right answers.
Null and void.
I'll tell you
This seems like it's a rigged
Yeah,
situation.
this is
when I
definitely rigged.
find the votes.
the first one that I counted, the differential is dead even. So this might go to individual point differentials.
Recount.
It's
This is not. Yeah. This will not be over this week.
is hotly
We're going to carry this out.
contested.
This is going to go several episodes.
Going to Supreme Court for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Snack Shack is not prepared to
Might
call.
go into other arcs.
Yeah.
Why don't we give the audience a chance? Audience, we had 91 starbursts. If you want to write in and guess how many were in each, maybe there'll be.
Josh will send you a sticker.
Yeah, sure.
God damn it.
And a Polaroid.
You need to answer it in limerick form, though.
All right, let's play this game. What is this game called?
Dungeons and
Wampia.
Dragons.
Yeah.
Thumball.
Boston Masquerade.
DJ, if you can take a break from counting votes.
I am a part-time BJ as well as a lector. All right, here we go.
This one's a doozy.
Arigato, Kameko-san. Gracias for meeting me here, Ignacio. I want to talk to you. I spoke with the lawyers. I told them to list the business to your esposa, Florentina. She's the new presidente of JP General Services. Congratulations. Tell her I know she can handle it with your help. Don't worry, mijo. I'm not going anywhere. I always have a plan. I'm just not sure how the next few days are going to play out. And with those SWAT team stunts against the Primogen, she crossed the line. She unified us. I think they're giving too much to these Anarchs. Some, they deserve a voice. Others, it's only going to cause problems. Sacrifices, they need to be made. Tonight, it'll be interesting. It's going to be where the future of New England is decided. As Burns Road, Ignacio. The best laid schemes of minimize. Now, vámonos. I have a dress for Selena to wear on a quinceañera tomorrow. Make sure to remind the niños. Keep up with the Japanese lessons.
November 7th, 6 p.m. Sydney Tybalt sits on a sofa in a small parlor, glancing up at the two security guards flanking a set of doors. She nervously taps her boot as she waits. The two guards stare ahead motionless.
One of the first things people usually ask when they find out there's a vampire, they say, "Oh, do they have any souls?"
As if by some hidden signal, the guards move in unison, opening the doors. Fiona enters the room. Behind her, we see a hallway filled with weapons. She walks towards Sydney, who, without a word, pushes over to make room for her on the sofa. She turns her head away from Fiona and brushes her hair aside, exposing her thin, pale neck.
First, from what I can tell, they don't feel things like humans do. Like the Shroud of Death, it dampens their experience. Maybe that is soulless.
Fiona opens her mouth and we see her canine teeth begin to stretch and grow into slender white fangs as she bites into Sydney's neck. After a few moments, Sydney starts writhing and attempts to move away from her. She begins to panic and struggle as Fiona grabs her shoulder, but she's no match for the elder's strength.
I see one who thought they could love.
As Sydney begs her to stop, the two guards exchange a glance, unsure of what to do. Then they stare ahead, motionless, as Fiona loses control and continues to feed.
The things I saw her do for love, they haunt me more than the war.
Sydney stops moving and her body begins to writhe. Her hair thins. Her skin becomes drawn and gray. In a matter of moments, her body rots and returns to its natural state as she is freed from the curse of unlife.
Anger, though, that's able to break that heavy shroud. It's not an anger like you or me. It's a beast, a rabid animal that breaks through.
Fiona continues to feed as the desiccated husk of Sydney Tybalt turns to ash in her mouth. Josh, where is the coterie?
The coterie has been called forth. They were told to meet at a few different locations. Larry relied on Javi to reconvene a lot of it. But basically, there was a few meeting sites. At each meeting site, they were met with a creature. One was Johnny. One was a rat. One was a bat. And they were all led underground, these creatures flitting ahead of them, traveling through till they got to a small sewer channel, and then a service access way that led into a boiler room. Larry is there, underneath Holland Elementary School in Dorchester, Mass., where Larry went to school about 80 years ago, and they're having their annual November sleepover. Above are 150 elementary children in sleeping bags in the gymnasium as the Kindred of Boston gather in a boiler room below.
You all make your way there, but let's jump back a little bit to earlier that night. Quintus, you awoke not in the same place where you went to sleep. Standing outside of the plexiglass that divides you and Sergei. But where Sergei was is just a desiccated corpse.
Quintus opens the door.
You feel powerful. You feel your hunger completely slaked. You have zero hunger.
Look at that, boy.
Hey, it's that easy.
You open the door.
My hand kind of trails over the edge of the coffin through kind of the ash and ruin of Sergei. I think about my research.
Even now, you can feel Theodora You can feel her spirit inside of you. You learned a while ago that she seems to be able to possess you during the day. Maybe because there's no spirit to fight against her, you're not sure. But yesterday, she took her part of the bargain. She spent the day walking in your body. She wasn't able to leave because there are certain restrictions on taking the body of a vampire. But she came down here and she got her revenge. You, diablerized Sergei.
Ruh-roh.
We should have moved him to Uncle John's facility.
Yeah. I need you to make a roll of resolve and blood potency.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. Humanity and blood potency.
Humanity and blood potency. Okay. That's a lot of dice.
What's that blood potency at, huh?
Currently?
You're when you make the roll, it's at 1.
When you
Okay.
make the roll.
And what am
to
I doing
know.
for hunger dice? Is this
No, it's fine.
No,
Don't
it's
worry
good.
about it.
That doesn't matter for this.
8? I need one more. Not great on a lot of dice. I managed to get there's 4 in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excuse me.
5. Wow. Okay. You beat him by 3. That's really good.
9.
What?
You rolled 9 dice.
Yeah. 5,
Humanity.
6, 7,
Oh,
8, 9,
I thought you said
10.
8.
You
Should've
can spend a
rolled one more.
willpower to re-roll some dice.
No, not on a
One more.
Not on that roll.
I stand corrected.
One more success.
6?
Yep.
Okay. As you're standing over him, looking at what remains of him, you realize that you feel stronger. Make some modifications to your character sheet, Dan. Increase your blood potency to 2.
Okay.
Increase your thaumaturgy by 1. Increase your auspex by 1. And mark off Dark Secret Diablerist.
Perfect.
What does that give you for a level of auspex?
3.
I'd like you to take the aura reading ability.
Okay.
Do anything for your humanity?
Oh, yeah, you lose a permanent point of humanity.
Really? I mean, I was really in my right mind.
I mean, if anyone should lose it, it should be Theodora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
She lost it a long time ago when she was burned at the stake.
No, I think the people who burned her lost humanity there. Again, this is on her.
Dan, one thing that you know about this aura reading power is that when you read a vampire's aura, if they are a diablerist, you see black veins running through their aura.
Perfect.
You look at your hand and you focus and you see your own aura. You see confusion. You see a little bit of fear. And most strikingly, you see your veins, the veins running that bring the blood through your body. They're black.
Perfect.
Very, very strong since it happened just now. Those will last.
I'm glad I'm going to meet all the kids.
Those will last for 2 years. But yeah, you're about to go meet every kindred in the city.
I'm sick for the next 2 years. I can't make that appointment.
Okay.
No one else probably has level 3 aspects though, so you're probably fine.
Sure.
You make your way to the meeting? The boiler room.
Yes, I do.
People listening to this must be like, wow, he really hates that Dan. He gave him that disease.
This is what you do to players who make you read 7-page backstories.
That's right. Yeah, when I attend the meeting, I stay to the back.
Okay.
They probably don't have to talk to me about anything.
Let's pick it up at
Good luck.
Let's pick it up at Elysium.
You're a trench coat that hides your aura.
The 5 of you arrive first. The boiler room of a middle school,
Elementary
school. I imagine that it's musky, dark. There's probably some boxes of old textbooks in the corner, and just the thrum of this boiler.
Larry looks to his coterie, says, "This won't be like a normal Elysium, because it isn't. So maybe this place suits it. We'll be safe here, even if Fiona, if her ears catch wind, even the police won't come in here. Not with them above.
Josh, I'm going to say that you enlisted the help of Alexander to have animals
Oh, yeah.
guide other people here. And they start to arrive, led in by raccoons, possums, rats, whatever. One by one, in small groups, they all start to congregate. First, mostly Camarilla, and then kindred that you don't recognize, Anarchs. They come in bigger groups. With them is Z and Mary. Jackal. I don't remember his name. The guy that helped you guys in Boston. I mean, in
Justin.
Justin. Thank you. And you see a lot of them speaking to Alexander. You see them all they're kind of split off from the Camarilla vampires. But the Primogens sort of start to make their way towards the center of the room, to where this giant hulking metal furnace is. And everyone is there except the Toreador and Mr. Boyle. Though you suspect Mr. Boyle might be close by. Clark comes over and says to all of you, doesn't look good that none of the Toreador are here. Were they invited?
See?
They don't know where the meeting is, but they had a point to meet and be led here. Larry
It's real smart. Cell phones don't even work down here. He looks at his.
hits a switch, and the boiler's still lit, but the fan shut off. He says, "We have about an hour until the children get cold. We'll need to turn it back on."
Good.
Clark says, we've already spoken to Mary and Jackal and Alexander. Leonidas is right. It'll be Mary and Alexander who represent them. But they've agreed. The terms are good. Maybe too good.
There is another person who wishes to have a voice. I can say from the back.
She.
What are those black veins back there?
Hey, old black vein. She steps forward. She says, letting on so many new members. What's one more? After all, I believe the Camarilla has officially recognized La Sombra as a member. Clark says, why? What can you offer? She says, let's see what I can offer. Let's listen to this plan and see how I can fit in. Harrison Geller comes over with Melanie. And he says, what is the plan? How do we take down the oldest vampire in America?
Ooh, fuck.
That is a terrible thing to say.
Yeah.
I mean, she's already weak if she can't feed.
Z looks at like the rest of the coterie and says, "What gets us all in the end? The sun, or a reasonable facsimile."
We had this opportunity to meet with a man, to take care of a man who had something that the First Light had been spent some time working on. I'm sure you're all familiar with the grenades that they carry, see? This is a little bit bigger.
Clark says, I've heard of him. Leonidas says, it won't kill her. It will weaken her significantly. But I don't think you understand quite how powerful she is.
No, please?
It's a good first step. If you can get her in the same room and get it off, but I've seen her walk in the day. She has the same gift that most of your clan have. And so I don't think it'll kill her. Perhaps. But I find it unlikely.
Okay, well, maybe this is something that a new La Sombra member can handle?
Lydia says, I can get it where it needs to go without anyone else having to be in the room. I just need to know where she is, where in her tower exactly. If I know that, I can get it to her. She takes off one of her long black gloves and she walks over to these kind of hanging lights and she holds her hand above it. Up, and her shadow is kind of cast onto the floor. And she looks across the room at the shadow being cast by the boiler. She drops the glove to the floor, but it disappears into her shadow, and it falls out of the shadow of the boiler onto the floor.
Well, I might be able to find out where she is if I can get into the system at that tower. Cameras, motion sensors, guard communications. I mean, they have to know where she is at all times. Z shrugs.
Sure. Where you need to get that information?
Boyle steps out of the darkness. There are some gasps and murmurs from the crowd.
I'm sorry, am I late? He smiles. Fiona has been moving in and out of the tower the past few months under my eye. I know when she comes, I know when she goes. I know when she is there.
Yeah, but I think we're going to need actual coordinates, like the room she's in.
Oh, I can get that for you.
Well, I can remote detonate that thing. I can even put some cameras on it so we can make sure that she's in there.
Okay, but that doesn't solve the other problem. Like Leonidas said, he's not going to kill her, so somebody's going to have to be there to finish her off.
Yeah.
There's no need to kill her. I've told you.
She may not be as weak or hungry as we think.
Dan, you don't know that happened, though.
That she diablerized.
Yeah, you don't know that.
Right. But I could, knowing that what the note you told me did for me.
Yeah.
But can you diablerize a younger vampire?
Yes.
You can.
It just doesn't do as much.
Okay.
Go on. Sorry. Cut. Carry on.
Come now, Leonidas. She doesn't have the same qualms about killing you, sending her dogs to do it. You're fighting for your life now, my friend.
If that is the action that this council feels is appropriate, then I will back it. I simply offer an alternative solution, a path of mercy. Sean Clark says, I think that brings us to the other part of this meeting, doesn't it? We're going to do this by the book. He looks towards all the Anarchs. He says, that means following the rules. Which means we don't just go in there and try to kill the queen. First we dethrone her, then we declare a blood hunt. Just like the old days in France, right, Mary? Dispose the queen, then cut their head off. She nods. We're going to declare a new prince here tonight. He says, Praxis Caesar. Someone will take her seat and declare a blood hunt. She has already attempted to kill many of us. That is the only justification we need. You hear a couple people in the crowd say, that's not enough. But who takes her place? Anyone want to make a nomination?
Traditionally, Jake, by Camarilla rules, the Primogen will be the ones to vote.
Yes,
but
correct.
anyone could elect someone?
Nominate.
Nominate, excuse me.
Sure. In this situation, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I guess I'll go first. I nominate my tío, Sean Clark.
I'll second.
That was Mr. Boyle.
Yeah. You have unlimited seconds, right? You can
Sure.
support any number of votes.
Jake, I try to look at the Primogen left that I think could actually even be interested. What is Geller's there, right?
Yeah. He doesn't seem interested.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Are the
just
kids
kind of
there?
watching. You see Melanie and that other guy who is not important.
I try to keep someone between me and Melanie.
Okay.
And then I look to Leonidas. I've probably talked to him a few times now. I try to get a read on Leonidas.
Okay. Give me a roll. Insight and intelligence.
Hey, guess what, guys? I have no hunger die.
Yay.
2 successes.
Okay. He's pretty stone-faced.
Mm-hmm.
From down one of the tunnels, you hear someone say, I nominate that Mr. Boyle not be allowed to vote. In fact, I believe that he should be stripped of his title. You see Santiago, flanked by the other 2 Toreador of the clan, enter the tunnel.
I'm not going to lie. I actually got a little nauseous because I thought it might be Fiona.
And he's wearing like these rubber waders and like a tuxedo jacket on top.
Josh, can we play Summer Swelter by Santiago under this
Yeah.
in post?
I'll mark it.
He walks into the room and he says, we all know that he's responsible for this. There's sort of a hush as everyone looks at the 3 Toreador that have just entered. He has driven our prince, their sire, one of the greatest of us, to madness. He has put all of our lives at risk for his own personal gain. Before any vote to replace her can happen, I think he must be removed.
Boyle looks at Larry.
Larry and Mr. Boyle lock eyes for a moment. Larry steps forward.
Leonidas says, I second that.
Cut my thunder.
Oh, shit. Cut. Go ahead.
Josh, do you want a flashback?
You want a flashback?
I have an idea for
You want a flashback?
Wow.
I'll flashback with you.
Okay. It's shortly after the first Elysium. Maybe it's the first time you invited Mr. Boyle to the downstairs to the subway station.
Okay.
He's walking around. He's not looking, trying to be polite about Quintus's lab. Says, you know, Larry, you spoke very confidently at Elysium. I think they're listening.
I just tried to take the opportunity that you gave me, Mr. Boyle.
No, Larry, it's an opportunity you earned yourself. You were part of the coterie that caught Sergei. Earned a boon from the Queen. It's all of your own making, Larry.
I remember, Mr. Boyle, when we talked after we took the city, and you told me how I had to find a way and a place in this society. It took me a while to understand that, but I think I'm starting to see that there might be. There's so many of us that only think of themselves when they speak and what they can do with their own power. The people that don't have the chance to talk should still be heard.
Mr. Boyle is nodding. He's cleaning stuff from underneath his fingernails. Even though you've been with us a short time, Larry, you see how this all works. I think you have an aptitude for it. Now the older Primogen, they know me. But there's more of us every day, Larry. And they want someone like them that they can listen to. Your friend, Z, Ethan. Soon enough, we'll all be gone. You'll be the one speaking for your clans. Some sooner than others.
That's the way, isn't it, Mr. Boyle? Of our kind. We all must leave this existence at some point.
He nods. There will come a time, Larry, where you will speak for us. But remember to always speak for yourself as well. Follow your instinct, Larry.
I'll try, Mr. Boyle. Come here, Johnny. We want to show Mr. Boyle the VIP room.
He chuckles.
Cut from the flashback.
Larry steps forward.
I second that, Mr. Boyle, and all those who allowed the prince's reign to fail should not be considered, because all of the Primogen, by action or inaction, have brought us to this point. A prince that, by your own understanding of our ways, should have been gone from the city, should have been beckoned, who has lost touch with the humanity that ties us, who could no longer make decisions for the greater good. All those Primogen who didn't act, and the one that did, maybe rashly and with danger, but to change that path, I think none of them should be considered. I nominate Alexander Wamsutta.
There's a cheer from the Anarchs.
Z steps forward. I second that.
Quintus remains quiet, leaning on the back of the wall.
Larry looks up at Mr. Boyle, having dug his own grave.
He's, even though he doesn't like eat solid food, it looks like he's picking something out of his teeth with his pinky nail. He seems amused.
Lydia says, "This is fascinating. But who gets to vote? No Nosferatu representation, I suppose?"
I feel, if anyone cares to listen to that reasoning, the Primogen should have a voice in mending their wrongs and picking a new path forward outside of their own ranks. Larry kind of knows that he has zero power, very little influence, and is just kind of hearkening back to that scene with Mr. Boyle and
Speaking his truth.
speaking his truth.
Mr. Boyle sort of shrugs. He says, as Madame Camilla, that's her name, right?
Yeah, the Nosferatu.
Yep.
Madame Camilla is predisposed and unable to join us. And since I'm out, we do have a Nosferatu in attendance who could speak for the clan.
Leonidas nods to that, as do Alexander and Mary. Santiago looks to Larry. He actually walks over to you. Gets really close.
He smells good. Despite being in the,
so good.
despite being in the sewer.
Smells fresh, like he just got out of the shower.
Yeah.
And he says, "I saw they found the girl.
Yes.
I nominate Larry Murphy as Primogen of Clan Nosferatu."
Seconded. Nice boots, Salvador.
He smiles at you. There's a vote, and it is unanimous. And you take Mr. Boyle's place.
Oh, yeah.
That's not what I was trying to do.
And then Alexander says, "This isn't something I wanted, But my understanding is that sometimes the right person for a job is someone who doesn't want it. There's a lot of healing that needs to be done in this city between our clans, between our factions. And when Fiona is gone, there's going to be a gap. For too long, many of us have had to live on the outskirts, not be given the respect that we deserve, that we earned in some cases. He looks towards Lydia. I say that changes now. Javi, Sean Clark looks at you and gives a nod, like it's okay. He sees how the vote is turning out because unfortunately he gave 2 votes to the Anarchs. And he actually whispers to you. He says, "We got bigger things than Boston."
Orderly.
And there's a vote. Larry Murphy, I assume you vote for Alexander. Mary and Alexander vote for him. That's 3. And Santiago also votes for him. And that's enough. Alexander says, "I agree that we should attempt to show her mercy, but I also do not think it's fair to put all of you in that risk. Trying to take her alive puts many in danger. We want the end of this night to have only one final death. So I would ask Leonidas to provide the help he offered, and for all of you to use it if you can. But if not, you make a swift, merciful death. I'd also say that Lydia gets what she's deserved since we took this city, a seat on this council. In return, she'll deliver the bomb. The Anarchs will keep the police away. The bomb will weaken her. And then the 5 of you will finish her. I'd ask everyone here in attendance to provide whatever resources you can to make this work. I know many of you have powers of the blood that can be given as gifts. This is something that we must do together as a city. Let's make a plan. So what he's talking about out of game, I don't know if you guys have noticed that a lot of the physical disciplines have things called blood. I think they're called blood droughts. They're discipline powers that allow you to basically make something that will temporarily give someone else
Oh, wow.
a discipline. Yeah. And between all of the vampires here, there's sure to be some vampires who have that.
Mm-hmm.
So, what that's going to mean is that I'd like each of you to pick one physical discipline that you currently don't have, and you can count yourself as having level 2 of that discipline.
Shit.
Good old fortitude.
Yeah.
Survival.
So, what's the plan? You've elected a new prince. He has declared a blood hunt.
I think.
So now's your opportunity to ask all of the kindred of the city how they can help you.
Right. I think we have like 2 phases to the plan, obviously. One is to get the bomb off, and the second would be to stake and
assault.
or...
So Lydia can, with Boyle's help, get the bomb off. She can send the bomb in there, and you can remote detonate it. But Leonidas says he doesn't think it'll kill her. He is going to give you the stake, which you can use if you get an opportunity. But if you need to just kill her, that's fine. But she's going to be extremely weakened. So after that, Santiago says, "There's something else you must all know. Although I knew this was the decision we'd reach, perhaps I can put those of you who feel a blood hunt on Fiona is inappropriate at ease. Earlier this evening, she summoned Sidney Tybalt. She fed on her, and she did not stop. She fed on her until..." He kind of swallows hard.
Quintus starts crawling into himself.
He says, her security guards informed me of what happened. And as I gazed upon her aura, I saw the black lines. She diablerized Sidney Tybalt. There is a ruckus, an eruption of screaming and talking, and it actually, Larry, makes you a little nervous that it's getting a little too loud.
Yeah.
What the fuck? She's really lost it then.
She has. The last few days, she has become paranoid, crazed. She was convinced that everyone was out to get her. He kind of smiles and looks around. But she's finally lost it. Lost all control.
Well, here's how you help, Santiago. You talk to her guards. You have some ear, some sway.
He nods.
Get them out of harm's way. Save some innocent lives.
Yes. I can try to make sure all the guards are out.
That means we can maybe get closer in. Outside the room, a couple rooms out. Detonate the bomb, go in.
Jake, I think Quintus is officially terrified right now.
Everyone sort of breaks off into conversations, kind of talking in smaller groups about what they can do. So you guys just think about, like, this is your resource gathering phase, so to speak. So think about who you want to talk to, what you might ask them for, any sort of final conversations, because the plan is to do this tonight.
Boyle will step up to Larry.
Okay.
Larry, do you remember what I told you about the Boston Public Library? The sewers?
Yes, Mr. Boyle. They all connect.
He nods. Even to the tower.
Mr. Boyle, I'm sorry.
For what, Larry?
I do think you would have been a good prince. But
I do too. Nothing to apologize for. I knew my gambit was up. I understand why you did it.
I will lead them, Mr. Boyle.
I will advise you as best I can.
Thank you. I will need the help.
I think Boyle feels a little lighthearted, as if responsibility is lifted off of his shoulder. But in seeing Larry succeed is, I think, something that Boyle sees actualized, at least for now.
Leonidas approaches Javier. I do think Mr. Clark would have been a good, if not ruthless, prince. Javier, I see in you someone who wants more than just this power. There is more. It will not be an easy path. It never is. The right thing is never easy. But I want you to take this. He takes out a wooden stake. You see that there are intricate carvings all across it. He says, it is the harder path, but it is the right thing to do. It is mercy. You don't have to hit her in the heart. Just pierce the skin. Make sure that the stake stays in long enough to travel to her heart, and it will put her into torpor. This is one of the most powerful weapons of the Tremere, and I trust it to you.
I appreciate that. I will make the decision that I need to make.
He gives you the spear. Or the stake, rather.
Gracias.
And then he walks over to Quintus.
Quintus is hovering on the exit.
Our deal is over. He just stares at you. And then he walks away.
Quintus doesn't say anything.
Kind of drop your head a little bit. Ow.
What is Quintus doing?
He steps a little further back into the shadows of the exit.
Little Irish exit there. Irish goodbye.
He's just watching all of these vampires down here, and he's paranoid of any of them turning their gaze towards him.
All of a sudden, Melanie's next to you. She says, "You seem very nervous. I can see it in your aura, nervousness. Are you okay?"
I am not well, Melanie.
I think it's going to be okay. I do. I see this is the right path. I don't see the city burning anymore.
This is good.
You shouldn't be so nervous.
They are willing to kill the prince over it.
Well, it's sad, but she's so old. I don't think she's really like us anymore. I think when you're that old, I don't know. I don't know if you can really understand humans or even younger kindred. Are you almost ready with the cure?
We are close. He kind of looks down at his hands despondently.
I think you'll get it soon.
You think we all deserve it? I look at her.
She looks around the room. I don't know. Do you think the world would be better or worse without us?
Before I was kindred, I thought humans were the problem. I study ecosystems, environments, and we are invasive. Or we were. Are the kindred any better, any worse? Quintus shrugs. We are all monsters, yes.
Eventually, they're going to know about us. The Anarchs already know that.
I agree with them.
They want to usher it in faster. But, I don't know. I think people, they're afraid of things like us, things they don't know. They're not going to react well when they find out. It's going to be bloody for a long time, I think.
This is true. But what we do here today, maybe we save a few lives.
She nods. If there's anything we can do to help. She looks over at Larry and she says, you know, Larry told me that when you back a team that isn't doing well, it means more. It means more to root for the underdog. So we're staying.
I am glad, Melanie.
And let us know if we can help.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Um,
I need bigger guns.
yeah. Who's like
Who would have bigger guns?
Z goes to Mary,
Okay.
says, well, shit. Who would have thought that would have panned out? Fuck. We're gonna need help though, like body armor, guns, fucking sword. I don't know,
She nods.
because she's gonna have weapons.
Oh, she's got weapons. You seen that place?
Yeah, I have. A little too close.
I got you covered.
All right.
You're fucked.
Yes. Yeah.
I got you covered, though. Whatever you need.
Appreciate it.
I'm going to be starting a riot down at the harbor, though. Again.
Good luck with that. Look, we're gonna need, after all this is over, we can't just go back on our word, right? There's got to be peace.
With Alexander as prince.
Right.
I think we're in a good spot.
Masquerade, I know it's all bullshit, but the First Light is no joke. Humanity's no joke.
You know, in D.C., the Sabbat and the Camarilla actually have a ceasefire in the city. It's true. They have a common enemy.
Bureaucracy?
First Light.
Yeah.
They're in the nest. Got to be careful. Anyway, I think we're in a good position here now. As long as we can keep some of the young ones in check, make sure they don't cause too much trouble. With Alexander where he is, me where I am. She looks over at Lydia. She's on the fence.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure that she's with the Camarilla.
That could be good for us.
Yeah. I met her progeny. This Kingsley guy. I'm pretty sure he's the bot.
I think you should stay close to her. If she's not with the Camarilla, maybe she's with us. Get close to her.
Yeah.
She needs you anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Larry's got one.
Okay.
Well, Larry really needs his fortitude. But Josh, as a player, is a sucker for story arcs and fucking, whatever. So Larry walks over to Santiago.
Nice.
Bro
He's
doesn't want to come
actually-
to my gym.
he's
I
actually-
see how it is.
Talking to some Anarchs. He
Of course he is.
some of them look like they're fans of his music.
Of course they are.
And they're chatting. And you come over.
Larry kind of stands respectfully, like off to the side. He doesn't interrupt.
He says, "Excuse me." He comes over.
Larry kind of like awkward, like moves his hand like towards
He
the
shakes,
side.
He shakes your hand.
Or like more like
Oh.
step off
Oh,
to the
okay.
side.
Oh no, he definitely. It's so awkward. The exchange, like
Okay.
A little bit
He
aside.
steps aside.
And then Larry turns and squares to him. And then Larry extends his hand and he says, "I'm sorry about your friend."
Thank you. And I'm sorry about yours. And he eats awesome. Bites its head off.
Season 2 villainous.
The season 2 is revenge for Johnny. He says, "Thank you."
I could use a gift from you if you would give it. I've seen you move. I know we will all be in danger.
Yes.
So I looked them up. They're draughts.
Draught.
Draught of elegance, draught of endurance, or draught of might.
nice.
And those are the celerity, fortitude, and potence.
I think it's pronounced draft.
Is it really?
Draw Draught.
Yeah, that's the.
You know what? We'll
English.
refer to our UK listeners.
Yeah.
Do you want?
Send a voice memo.
We're gonna get a limerick on this in 6-7 weeks or so. Yeah.
100%.
You boys are positively daft.
Johnny was working the shaft.
Yowza! Wow. I don't know where that came from.
Oh,
Seems like you were just sitting on that.
that is that is a.
Does Josh get to cross off adversary?
Yeah.
Adversary?
Yeah.
Adversary.
Oh.
Jesus
You already
Christ.
crossed off your contact,
You
right?
guys are
Adversary.
boys now.
When you killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can cross off rival as well.
I'm gonna
Probably cross off
yeah.
Maula too.
I'm gonna go up to Mary when once she and
Okay.
Z are done
All right.
talking. I guess I guess I kind of want to make amends. I know that Fiona made me a big part of getting your people out of the city, and
Yeah, you put in all those nice new condos, right? Had the mayor there for a ribbon cutting.
Yeah, that was. I'm sorry about that. Not a lot of foresight there, but I do have. I have plenty of places for you to stay. There's some nice units up in the 10 Hills neighborhood that actually right near the Encore that I've been speculating on for a while. Haven't found anything to do with them, and
Near Encore.
yeah,
Seems
funny,
like,
huh?
Seems like a good hunting ground.
It's a promising neighborhood.
If you're alive tomorrow, maybe you can show me.
Well, I'd be happy to. You're pretty strong though, huh?
She nods.
What do you bench?
That is the exact
What is a
question.
what would like a power lifter like? What is someone who is
lifter?
incredibly strong bench?
350.
I mean,
350.
yeah, baseline.
Kilograms?
Pounds.
Easy. Easy fucking pandering over there.
She says 415, 420.
All right. Well, that. If you want me alive tomorrow, maybe maybe we could talk.
Let me find a bottle. Dan?
I think Quintus standing kind of at the entrance to this room, or one of the entrances, he's looking back and forth between Mr. Clark and Alexander Wamsetta, the new prince. And he's going kind of back and forth in his head. And then finally, he kind of steels himself and walks out from the passageway and goes to speak to Alexander Wamsetta.
Okay.
Diablerist to Diablerist.
He doesn't know that.
He's with a bunch of other gangrel. Non-aspects having wolf people.
And he kind of stands at the periphery of the circle waiting to kind of catch Alexander's eye and motion him to the side.
He comes over.
Quintus says, first of all, I suppose a certain congratulations is in order.
He says, thank you. Before you say anything else, I'm considering ordering you not to go.
I understand this, and
If you don't make it, we don't get a cure.
Quintus is nodding as he's speaking. Respectfully, I do not disagree with your logic. It is sound. At the same time, I have been through much in this city with this coterie, and to leave them now, in perhaps their final moments, I think it is a disservice to our relationship that we have built. What is more, I believe that my research with Mr. Clark, though may progress more slowly, will eventually come to the same conclusion.
You don't think there's a cure?
I don't know. But we haven't found one yet. And if there is one, I believe his team will find it in good time. Why I approach you then, knowing this, knowing the risk, is with a request that perhaps you can share the gifts of your clan and its resiliency.
I can. Or I can order you to stay and send someone else in your place.
Quintus is kind of wringing his hands.
Dan is like, fuck no, I'm using level 5 thaumaturgy.
Well, I actually don't even know if I could use it technically. Like, in terms of learning the discipline if we're doing it tonight, you know. But he says, my prince, perhaps it is best if I go. There is something that has happened. Quintus his eyes kind of cast about the room, looking to see if anyone's looking at him or listening. I am not well. Not just the disease, but I have done something wrong. Sergei, my test subject, he is, I destroyed him.
You're not making my first day very easy.
I appreciate this, but perhaps if you let me go and I die, it will be a moot issue for you.
I don't want you to go, and I don't want you to die. You're too important. You're the only one that can find a cure for this. But it sounds like you've made a mistake.
Quintus is like nervously looking at his hands, kind of fixing his glasses. He keeps glancing around the room.
Go to that tower, get this done, and your reward will be forgiveness.
Kind of nods quietly.
Now let's see if we can do something about keeping you alive.
Cool. Cool.
Anything else? Anyone else?
When we're kind of, there's a lull and the coterie is a bit together, as he walks up and says, look, I just wanted to say I'm sorry about what happened. There's no excuse. My blood was up. What happened in that tower? He like closes his eyes and shakes his head. I saw an opportunity and I took it.
It has gotten us here.
Yeah.
Perhaps where we were always meant to be.
Not quite. But hey, whatever.
Says, either way, I'll be in there. I'll be helping clean up this mess. And I'll be around, helping after that.
You still got the jacket, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
See, I believed what you said, what you don't like about the Camarilla, that those in power, they only take actions to further their own goals. Maybe we've all done that, realized that it can happen to any of us. There's things that are part of us, but there's always a path forward, and I'm glad that you'll be there with us.
Me too. I don't know what happens after, but, well, Anarchs, Camarilla will be around, and I'll be around.
Javi, I'm sorry, by the way. I didn't really think. I just spoke. You should have been a Primogen.
I don't think you quite understand how this works, Larry. I'm not a Nosferatu. I can't be your Primogen.
Well, I know. I just mean, if Mr. Clark had become Prince, you would have been the Primogen, and...
No. There's no guarantee I was going to be the Primogen. You said what you had to say, Larry. That's from the very beginning. I told all of you. You said what you needed to do, everybody. You make your decisions. We are individuals, huh?
There's something I think we have a right to ask of Alexander. Not because of anything that we did to make him prince, but because of what we're going to do. I think it should be for what we are risking. I had thoughts, but I think it should be something we decide together we should ask for boon. Something meaningful to us, to what we want the city to be, to kin, whatever it is. We will earn that tonight if we succeed.
Just a big if.
Quintus is looking down at his feet.
Easy to ask a favor if they don't think they'll have to repay it, he says with a attempted humor. I thought maybe to make kin sacred ground, like Elysium, but always.
I like that. Bring everyone together.
Quintus is nodding without looking up.
Whatever it is, I've talked far too much tonight. One of you should ask.
I think as the newest Primogen, it's only right for you to ask, Larry. This is the problem with power, see?
I don't even think that's really permanent.
40 years later, I think I'm just
Temporary. I'm pretty sure temporary.
Again, I don't think you understand.
Well then, can you all come with me?
Yeah.
Do you think that's what we should ask for?
I like it. Avi? Ethan, it's your place. Technically.
Sounds sick, man. Yeah.
Quintus is in?
Quintus nods again.
Is there anything else?
Silence.
All right. Larry kind of nods and turns and leads the group towards Alexander.
He sees you all coming and kind of meets you in front of the boiler.
Hello, Alexander. He
Larry.
opens his bag and Johnny runs out.
He pats Johnny. He says, Larry, it's getting a little cold. It might be about time to wrap this up.
It is. But we wanted to ask one more thing of the prince. Boon. If we are able to succeed tonight, we thought to ask to make kin the host of Elysium and to be sacred ground where no conflict between kindred could be allowed. And also, he looks towards Z to forgive any trespasses that we have made before this night.
He looks at Z and then he looks at Quintus and kind of smirks. All right. I think those are fair terms.
And I'm sorry. I know you didn't really want this, which is why you should have it.
There's people, other kindred will say that you orchestrated all of this. You got 2 votes on the Primogen Council, then put yourself in that position.
I didn't.
In 2 moves, you negotiated a majority. Whether you did it on purpose, Larry, other kindred are going to trust you less. They're going to always think that you have another agenda. That's how they are. They're always plotting. They're always up to something. Even now. As the boiler kicks back on and people start to disperse, Javi, Sean Clark comes over and says, I think you're going to be all right. You see, he looks like he's in a good mood. He says, I appreciate the nomination, but in reality, I am far too busy to be prince of the city.
I know.
And when this gets off the ground, what we're cooking up, you're going to be too busy as well. This thing is going to affect all of us around the world. And we're going to have the cure. Only us. He looks towards Leonidas when he says that. And think about this, Javi. Do you know how Fiona controls all the police?
I can assume, but I'm not sure.
He puts a hand on your shoulder. And he says, her blood. And then he looks over at the Anarchs. He looks at Jackal. We got the cure.
Okay, Theo.
I think we'll end it there.
Good God.
Okay, everything's gonna.
Quintus could not get out of there fast.
Big moves, bitches. Thank you for listening to the Boston Masquerade on the Nastagram RPG podcast. Now we'd love to hear more from you. Find and follow us online. We are at Nastagram RPG on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook.com/Nastagram, or the Nastagram RPG Lounge for our community on Facebook, r/Nastagram on Reddit, and at Nastagram 2053 on YouTube. Or just go to the website, NastaGramRPG.com, and you can link out to all those sites there. If you don't mess around with any of that social media bullshit, good on you. We'd still love to hear from you. Email us at nastagrampod@gmail.com. And finally, no matter what, we would beg, implore, and plead you to rate and review us, preferably at Apple Podcasts or whatever it is they call iTunes these days. And also just talk about us. Talk about us with your friends, anybody that you think would appreciate tabletop RPGs, or just telling good stories. Thanks again, and we will see you next Tuesday.
That's nasty.
And we will be spending experience.
I think it's only right that we get one last round of experience. Also, I think we need to do some humanity rolls.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So anyone who has a stain needs to roll some dice. Matt, you've
What
got
about
it
two
marked
stains?
off correctly. Yeah, roll one die.
I was all smug that
I
I,
don't
was
know,
going to...
John. I'm not sure if you're rolling one. I don't know how many you're rolling.
I have
That's
two
a
stains.
6.
Oh, for being.
You have an 8 humanity though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're rolling one die as well.
Okay.
All right, you're good. You made it.
Boom.
1.
Fail. Lose a point of humanity.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Anyone else have stains?
Larry does.
Larry has 1.
1. He has a 7.
7, so 8. So you roll 2 dice. You roll it's 10 minus your humanity minus your stains. That's how many dice you roll. The idea being that the higher your humanity is, the easier it is to lose it.
Right.
You got 1.
Got it.
So you're good.
Yep.
Yeah, you just any successes and you're good.
And the stains go away after you roll.
The stains go away, correct.
Both of
oh,
them?
look at you. Knocked back down to where the rest of them are.
Right.
Yeah.
Casual cop murder, you know.
I think I have somehow ended up with the lowest humanity.
Wait, you didn't have a stain, right? You just
Correct.
lost a point of
I just
humanity.
lost it.
humanity.
Just
Hey,
straight
if you
lost.
fail that roll, you lose an additional point of humanity.
Dear
Yeah.
What do you got,
Lord.
6
Wolf.
or 5?
6.
6.
Basically, the way the Diablerie roll works is if you make it every point you beat them by, you get extra experience to spend on disciplines, which is why I gave you the point of Auspex in addition to
Gotcha.
the point of Thaumaturgy, because you beat them by 4. And if you fail it, you still get 1, and you still get the blood potency,
But you lose...
but you lose a second point of humanity.
oh my
Yeah.
God.
Jesus.
That's the path of darkness real
Oh
fast.
no, you lose amount of humanity equal to how much they beat you by.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you guys record, we're doing video clips now, right? We're trying to do like a thing. Trying to do a thing, and I think the Starburst thing will be a thing. We're going to flop our dicks out on social media.